So, August 2025 emissions data are in, and climate trace estimates show that although 4 of the 5 top emitting countries saw slight increases in emissions over a year, US emissions decreased by 4.54% as compared to August 2024. Global emissions reached 5.16 billion tons of CO2 emissions for August 2025. Total year-to-date emissions have reached 41 billion tons for 2025. Both have increased compared to 2024 totals. That was a lot of numbers. Maybe we should have a look at it in the actual tool. We can also have a look at the actual website, Climate Trace, and what else they have on there. So just going through this, you can see that they found that global GHG emissions are increasing over the years, 2024 being the highest, 2024 being the highest so far, and then 2025, where we're only at August in terms of the data analysis, is topping that. And then we can go to cumulative GHG emissions year to date. Again, you can see it looks a bit like 2025 has leveled out compared to 2024 in some ways for some months, but still slightly ahead for others. By sector, that's always quite interesting. So you can see power, energy generation is still by a landslide the largest GHG emitter globally. Then there is manufacturing. It's definitely an area that needs screening. Then fossil fuel operations. I don't really know what that means. Quick add-on to fossil fuel operations because I didn't know what that meant. Turns out it's exploration, extraction, refining, transportation and combustion for energy production. So there you go. So this involves extraction of materials like coal, petroleum and natural gas and processing them into usable forms like gasoline or electricity, and then distributing them for heating, transportation and industrial processes. There you go. Fossil fuel operations are so closely interlinked with just fossil fuels that I would just put them together, and you can see how big a portion of the overall it would be then. And then there's transportation, but we are on track we are getting somewhere with transportation. You can see more and more electric vehicles on the roads now, and more of the infrastructure coming through. So that is an area that will hopefully change going forward. And it might actually be interesting to look at how transportation looked a year ago in August. I've seen most of this, but this bit is quite interesting. Top 5 emitting countries. United States has declined by 4.54% over the year, which is shocking, really, considering what's going on over there politically. India increased emissions by 0.25 year on year. Russia increased by 3.1%. Indonesia by 7.02% year on year. And then the EU, which would be the 4th largest source of emissions. Emissions have actually declined by 0.61 million tons. So that's really cool. Look at that, they actually have a world map tracking emissions. That is from 2024, January to December. It's a huge amount of data, so of course they can't just have it all live. It says here, just outside of the screen, 1,813,558 sources. So, good job keeping track of all that. We can move this around. I don't know where you guys are. There's a little bit of emission in. What is that? Alaska. But let's see, I'll just out of info. Wow, look at the Gulf states. Look at those spikes here. This is quite cool, this is quite geeky. Yeah, wow, Africa having next to none emissions, especially sort of in the north center. Madagascar having very little. Also quite nice that they show where the rainforests are. And now, let's have a look at Spain. See how far we can zoom in. Maybe I should bring the legend up. There we go. Lots of agriculture in Spain. I don't know what the purposing is. Manufacturing, okay. Some transportation. Buildings, of course. Yeah, okay. Don't know how far I can zoom in. Let's see. At this point, we're down to 5,709 sources. And we can see that 44.59 million tons of CO2 have been emitted last year in this kind of section. There's Barcelona. Transportation, we have some electricity, power generation, waste, we've got manufacturing, lots of fossil fuel operations. You can see Andorra in the north. Dots represent emission sources that are human-made facilities, refineries, power plants, airports. There are hundreds of thousands of such assets, yeah. Green and pink pixels represent emitting assets from land use. Yellow lines represent emissions from road transportation. And then shaded areas represent an administrative area up to which many assets can be aggregated into the single emissions total. Okay, cool. So that's Barcelona for you. Let's see. You can see the road network now. Just everywhere in Europe, of course. One of the most connected areas globally. So yeah, if that is something that you might be interested in, have a go. It's really cool. I really love this. I think I might make this a feature every time they get a new report out, monthly one. I could just add that as a explorative piece on the channel. And yeah, have a look at how we're progressing in the world. What do you think? If you would like that, leave a comment. I will go ahead and do that if you're interested. I will also put a link to the Trace website into the comments, because I think that might be quite interesting for a few of you to play around with as well. Okay, thank you very much for exploring and digging into this with me today. That was quite fun. See you again next time. Bye.